everybody. It's Trixie. Welcome to the underground. One more time. I got to do this because I guess there's no heat in the studio. And John assures me that next week we will be back. So before I go on and on and on and on about football, because I'm obsessed, let me just talk about this girl that I trained for my job. She's 19 years old. She looks like Jennifer Lawrence, okay? So I was telling her how Gen Z is afraid of turning 30. And she said, yeah, me too. That's my worst fear. And I said, well, the alternative is dying. And she said, well, I already did that. What do you mean you already died? She said she already died. She got run over by a truck and died. And then they brought her back. Who the heck gets run over by a truck and then comes back looking like Jennifer Lawrence? Life is not fair. Nobody said life was fair, Tina. I said that to my 9-year-old niece, and she's like, who's Tina? Christina, Christopher, damn it. That's who Tina is. You're too young to get the reference. You're too young to get the Mommy Dearest reference, Ariana, okay? So let's talk a little bit about football. It's going to be the 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I was happy about the Chiefs, but I wanted Detroit to win. You know, they've never been in the Super Bowl. They were 17 points ahead. It was like, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, freak plays. They stopped throwing to Amon St. John, and they just were kind of like fumbling and just making, it wasn't Jared Goff's fault for a change. I like to blame him a lot. He was perfect, but they just kind of didn't pull it together. But the Chiefs, man, I'll tell you, Lamar Jackson's very overrated. And in the playoffs, he sucks in the playoffs. He doesn't have an accurate throwing arm, and that was kind of, amplified. They kept making mistakes. Their defense was like, against Patrick Mahomes with the hands to the face and taunting over the receiver and fumbling right before they get to the goal line. Just dumb mistakes. But yeah, Kansas City turned it up a notch, and Kelce was amazing. He had like over 100 yards. He broke Jerry Rice's receiving postseason record, and he didn't care. He's like, eh. But like watching him and Taylor after the game, kissing and hugging, and it makes me believe in love, even though I don't. But yeah, I don't know. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl 4 years ago. So, I don't know who to pick. I'm like so confused. They're turning it up. Kansas City's turning it up, but then Brock Purdy is like, he's running for first downs. He's showing some maturity really early on. It's only his second season, and he learned a lot last year, but he's looking good. I mean, this is going to be a good matchup. It's looking good. I actually have to admit I'm attracted to Travis's brother, Jason. He gives me that mountain. I'm like a mountain man. Like he was drinking shots out of a bowling ball. He had his shirt off, and he was like, "Rrr," like he looked like some gay guy on Bear Week in P-Town, and he just looks like a man of the people. They were chanting his name, like "Come play for us," and Travis was making the heart shape that Taylor does, and everybody was saying, and me and my mother were arguing, and it was to Taylor. I said, he's not going to do that to Taylor during the game. He's not going to do that to her. And he even admitted on his show that he was doing it to the fans, because Travis is all about in your face, believe me. So the jury ordered Trump to pay E. Jean Carroll $83.3 million. Does anyone actually think that she's going to see that money? They didn't ask for that much, but they thought Trump was just so horrible. I'll tell you, it's just like OJ. He's not going to pay it though. But, so the Bills fans burned a cutoff of Taylor Swift's head in the dumpster. I like Buffalo Bills. I like the fans. Actually, the Swifties came together and donated thousands and thousands of dollars to that Kickers charity. Okay. The homeless cat charity. So I'll tell you what, Swifties are the best. They're a lot better than Trump supporters. That's for sure. But all right, let's go on. Travis told Josh Allen, it's all the love in the world, baby. He likes to say baby. Love you, brother. Hell of a job getting here. That shit is crazy that you got here. So it's crazy that the Chiefs got there too, because they were nuts all season long. But it just depends on when you get to the postseason, how good you are. I guess a player on the Chiefs said the Bills shut off the hot water in the locker room after that stuff goes on all the time, where the opposing team locker room has no water or nothing. It's freezing. A fan lit himself on fire after jumping on a flaming table at the Bills tailgate. He was wearing a Detroit Lions sweatshirt. Crazy, don't you think? I think he was a Bills fan wearing a Detroit. I don't know. It's nuts. Was flipped off a pickup and then onto a fiery folding table, and then his ass was on fire. Okay, so the Swifties, they call it Tay Voodoo. Bills fans said, "Welcome to Buffalo, Taylor. You suck." Not all of them are like that, but they did boo her. And what are you going to do? Sports is brutal. Um, so let's go. Brittany Page is going to make some money because she's got Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift wrapping paper. How can I get some? That's pretty smart to do anything with Travis and Taylor on it, because you're going to make... What was it? Kyle Juszczyk, his wife made all those jackets, and now she's world famous. I love this. I love this. Jon Stewart is unretiring just for the 24 election season for The Daily Show. He's coming back to The Daily Show. I didn't really like Trevor Noah. I didn't think he was funny, but I love, love, love Jon Stewart. Thank you, God, because we need him. Harry Styles is, shall we say, on the cheap side for leaving a $5 tip for a $70 check. This was many years ago, but come on. $5 for 70? Are you kidding me? Taylor Swift gave some guy $100 asking him if he worked at the stadium. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So they went to Spain, Barcelona. Dorit's Chanel PJs were $1,217. Crystal's clearance rack PJs were $799. They stayed at a place, an Airbnb that was haunted in Barcelona. So we learned Erica has the ability to smell haunted spirits. She's got a good memory, too. Supposedly tiny ghosts. I don't know why they're small, but I think maybe the ceilings were low. Maybe they had to be tiny. Tiny ghosts were living there. Like the house, it looked like the House of Seven Gables. It was so small. But their glam arrived shortly after. Dorit's Chanel collapsed the closet, ended up on the floor. Sutton had some choreographer, Merce Cunningham. I'm sorry, I don't know him. I know Bob Fosse, but I don't know Merce. She had him in a Ziploc bag, like his ashes were in a Ziploc bag. I really don't understand that, but okay. Anne Marie outed Crystal, saying in 2022 at a mutual friend's holiday party that the housewives were shallow. Yeah. Uneducated. Oh boy, not intelligent. Dorit clapped back and called her a child bride because she was 24 when she married Rob Minkoff. He was 45. Oh boy. So producers played a clip of Crystal saying they're not highly educated. She's a little, shall we say, pretentious. Her and her brother were talking at lunch last week and saying, about the sucking of the feet, and saying that, we don't even let these people on our floors without shoes on. I don't really like people that think they're better. Nobody's better. Anne Marie, the esophagus police, her. So she was saying the true socialite of the group was, Crystal was the true, I can't read my own writing. Thank you. Crystal was the only true socialite in the group. Dorit called her boring. You know what? She is boring. Crystal's like my least favorite. I mean, maybe because she has an eating disorder. I don't really want to hear about that. Like, I just want to hear about them going at each other, like, about petty things. And I tell you, I like Anne Marie. Anne Marie's pretty interesting. On the way to church, they were driving down a narrow and winding road. Sutton couldn't stop burping, and Crystal was like Damien in The Omen. She needed to get out of the car, and they called 911 because she had to throw up. Her veins were popping out, and she needed Anne Marie. So the universe was working towards getting them back together. So little Taylor Swift's here. A bridesmaid told her best friend live on the radio she was skipping parts of her wedding to attend a Taylor Swift concert. So, yeah, I think, would you get mad at that? I would probably get mad at that. Like, you didn't know? So they put the bride on after that live. She wanted to attend the wedding during the day, leave, and then attend the Swift concert, and hopefully, in parentheses, return for the reception. She wouldn't be my best friend. I'll tell you that, right? The bride said, "Is this a prank? Are you joking?" The bridesmaid was like, she was serious and she felt really bad, but not too bad to skip the Swift concert. She said she's a Swift fan and tickets were hard to get. Yes, I get that. But the bride clapped back. You've known since December, and it's 3 weeks until my wedding, and now you're telling me this? You know what? I think that's a problem. But you know what? The radio station is going to be trying to get a plane for or a helicopter her back. But still, that would be in the back of my mind. Like, what kind of friend is this? You know, I locked my cat in the bedroom and I don't hear her, which is good because she'd be breaking out here right now. But I had to rope her in. She gets through. She's like Houdini. Jeff Bezos says you never can be proud of being handsome, beautiful, or smart or tall because those are gifts, which is true. I've always said that when people are like, I'm so smart. Well, you know, you were born that way. You were born with your intelligence unless you kind of work really hard at it. But you can only be proud of your choices because those are the things are acting on. That's true. You know, if you try really hard and then you make something of yourself, that's a real accomplishment. DeSanctimonious, you know, he dropped out. The alien dropped out. Nikki Haley did not drop out. She's causing him, and he's calling her by her Indian name, Minrata, because he's signaling to the white supremacists, do not vote for her. But you know who did vote for her in New Hampshire? The independents. And Kayleigh what's her name? McEnany? I don't even know her name. But she used to work for Trump. I think she's a lawyer. Is she a lawyer? Anyway, she told Trump on Fox, basically, you got to pay attention to the fact that independents are going towards Nikki Haley. He called her a rhino. You can't give him any advice. He's like nuts. But I think the best thing for him to do would be to get Nikki Haley on his vice presidential, on his ticket, because that would sway. And you know, I like Nikki Haley, to be honest with you. I mean, I think he's pretty smart, but he won't because he's too like egotistical and narcissistic. He's looking at Elise Stefanik. I mean, yeah, right. You're not gonna get any. You're not going to get any independence. And speaking of her, Liz Cheney called her a total crackpot. Stefanik accused Cheney of having a mental breakdown. Stefanik's pretty smart. And Cheney will never hold any elected office again. Maybe that could be true. But Stefanik scrubbed her 2021 press release clean, and Cheney tweeted at her about that. This is what @Elise Stefanik said. In a rare moment of honesty about the January 6th attack on our Capitol, one day she will have to explain how and why she morphed into a total crackpot. History and our children deserve to know. You cannot scare Liz Cheney. She's like a mountain. I kind of like have so much respect for her. And Elise condemned the attack right after it happened, calling out the violence and destruction of January 6th and called for the perps to be prosecuted. And Cheney clapped back that statement was no longer available on Stefanik's official House website. She's a turncoat. One of the traitors. This is what happens, though, you know. You have to kiss his ass, and then you have to kiss it forever. Because Kayleigh McEnany, did I say her name right? I'm not sure. But she was very loyal until she turned on him. And supposedly, Lindsey Graham turned on him, too, and he, like, hugged the district attorney in the Georgia case. I'm getting all these cases mixed up. And he's like, oh, it's so cathartic, because he turned on him. And the prosecutor's like, yeah, whatever, man. In another episode of Everything Trump Touches Dies, Peter Navarro has been sentenced to 4 months in prison. Not enough for contempt. Fined $10,000. Not enough. People are screaming. Oh my God, this was so funny when he was outside the courtroom. They were screaming liar, and there were whistles, really freaky whistles and cowbells going off, so you could not hear him. I don't know. I mean, the left is a little cuckoo, but the right is scary, okay? I don't know where to fall in with these two people, with these two groups. I don't know. Did you bring your whistles and your cowbells? They were probably calling Stevie Nicks. I don't know. The bipartisan negotiation on the border crisis, Trump tells them to nix it, like Stevie Nicks it. You know why? Because he wants to take credit for it. But you know what? You're supposed to be like the party of fixing the border. He couldn't do it when he was in office with that damn wall that Mexico didn't pay for. He's not tough on the border. He only cares about himself. It's all about him. He hates Biden so much, and the Republicans will just fall in line, and they will. They won't sign the bill. Watch. But of course, Mitt Romney's coming out. He's like, this is disgusting. Of course it is. I do not think we should do a border deal unless we get everything. It's all about him getting credit. Former Trump lawyer Joe Tacopina said it's absolutely possible that Trump will be convicted in one of the federal criminal cases. Just one? He's got like 15 going. 70% of Trumpers will only accept a Trump victory as legit. 46 will only accept a Biden victory. And 25% of Trump supporters oppose having him on the ticket if he's convicted. That's a New York Times Siena College poll. But you know what? Most of his supporters will follow him into hell. That's what I believe. There's no breaking this chain. I'm wondering when are these people going to climb out of their spell? I talked to this woman today, not today, last week at work, and she was like, I said, well, you're a woman. He's responsible for Roe versus Wade being overturned. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not? Really? He's not? He appointed 3 pro-life judges, and guess what? They overturned it. Do your research, honeys. He was also saying that Nikki Haley was in charge of security on January 6th, mixing her up with Nancy Pelosi. And they think Joe Biden's demented. And then he's saying that Nikki Haley's going to be investigated. So Trump, keep America great. That's his, make America great again. All this America great. Trump, Biden's slogan should be restore sanity. Restore sanity. I don't want to end on this note, okay? Because Roger Stone was saying that he wants to kill people or people need to die. Like Jerry Nadler and Eric Swalwell. Kill one and let's see. Did you hear? She's coming. She's breaking out. I got to go. She's breaking out. Just another day in the Trump party. Yeah, I got to let the cat out. I'm very sorry. But listen, it was very exciting to do this here. I will be back next week in the studio. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you again next week, lovies.